What actually happens when you type a website like google.com into your browser? Your computer doesn't actually understand website names. It only understands IP addresses, which look something like 123.456.72.14. So, when you type a website name, your computer has to ask for directions. First, it checks its local cache to see if it already knows the answer. If not, it sends a request to something called a DNS server. DNS stands for Domain Name System, and it's basically the phone book of the internet. That DNS server might already know the address, but if it doesn't, it starts asking other DNS servers across the internet. One server points to another, which points to another, until finally one says, "Yep, google.com is at this IP address." Your computer gets that number, connects to the server at that address, and the website loads. And the crazy part? All of that usually happens in under a fraction of a second. Follow for more quick computer science explanations. What exactly is a DDoS attack? And how can it take down huge websites? DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Service, and the idea is actually pretty simple. Every website server can only handle so many requests at once. Normally, those requests come from real users, people loading pages, watching videos, or clicking links. But in a DDoS attack, an attacker controls thousands, or even millions, of computers. These machines are often infected devices called a botnet. Then all of those computers start sending requests to the same website at the exact same time. The server suddenly gets way more traffic than it can handle. So instead of serving real users, it gets overwhelmed trying to respond to the attack. The result? The website slows down, or crashes completely. It's kind of like millions of people all trying to walk through the same doorway at once. Follow for more quick computer science explanations. What are cookies on the internet? And should you actually be worried about them? Despite the name, they're not something you eat. A cookie is just a small piece of data that a website saves in your browser. When you visit a website for the first time, the site sends this tiny file to your computer. Your browser stores it. Then, the next time you visit that website, your browser sends the cookie back. This lets the website remember things about you. For example, it can remember that you're logged in. It can keep items in your shopping cart, or remember your preferences and settings. Without cookies, many websites would forget who you are every time you reload the page. But cookies can also be used for tracking. Some companies use them to follow what websites you visit, so they can show you targeted ads later. So cookies aren't automatically bad. They're just a tool. Sometimes they make websites work better, and sometimes they're used for advertising. Follow for more quick computer science explanations. Why do computers sometimes say 404 not found when a web page doesn't load? It's not just a random number. When your browser asks a server for a web page, the server responds with something called an HTTP status code. These are just short numeric messages that explain what happened. For example, 200 means everything worked perfectly. 403 means the server understands your request, but you're not allowed to access it. And 404 means the server looked for the page you asked for, but it doesn't exist. Maybe the page was deleted, maybe the link is wrong, or maybe the URL was typed incorrectly. So the server sends back 404, not found. Fun fact, the number itself isn't special. It's just part of a standardized list of responses that help computers communicate clearly across the internet. Follow if you're a human, and follow for more quick computer science explanations. Why do some websites load way faster than others? A big reason is something called a Content Delivery Network, or CDN. Here's the problem. If a website only had one server in the world, everyone on Earth would have to connect to that single location. If you were far away from that server, your data would have to travel thousands of miles across the internet. That distance adds latency, which makes websites feel slow. So instead, many companies use a CDN. A CDN is a network of servers spread all around the world. These servers store copies of a website's content, like images, videos, and files. When you visit a site, you don't connect to the original server. You connect to the closest CDN server to you. That means the data travels a much shorter distance, so the website loads much faster. Follow if you're a human, and follow for more quick computer science explanations.
Language breakdown C++. What exactly is C++, and why do so many high-performance programs use it? C++ is a programming language created in 1985 by Barney Strustrup. It was designed as a more powerful version of the older language C. The big idea behind C++ is control and speed. Many languages try to hide how the computer works, But C++ lets programmers get very close to the hardware. For example, C++ lets you directly manage memory, deciding exactly when data is created and when it's deleted. That extra control can make programs extremely fast. That's why C++ is used in things like video games operating systems, game engines like Unreal Engine, and high-performance software. Another big feature is something called object-oriented programming. That means code can be organized into objects that contain both data and behavior. This makes huge programs easier to build and maintain. Follow if you're a human. So in simple terms, C++ gives programmers more control over the computer, which often means more speed and power. Follow for more quick computer science tutorials.
What? Why does my laptop keep freezing? I'm getting frustrated.
Don't worry, I will break it down for you. A lot of the time, it's because of something called a deadlock. Here's the idea. Programs often need to share resources like files, memory, or devices. To avoid conflicts, programs temporarily lock those resources while they're using them. But sometimes, things go wrong. Imagine program A locks resource 1. Then program B locks resource 2. Now program A needs resource 2, and program B needs resource 1. But neither program will release the resource it already has. So both programs just sit there waiting forever. That's a deadlock. It's kind of like two people meeting in a narrow hallway. One steps left, the other steps left. Both step right, and now neither can pass. Follow if you're a human. Programmers design systems carefully to prevent deadlocks because when they happen, software can appear completely frozen. Follow for more quick computer science explanations. What are the 3 worst programming languages ever made? Not necessarily useless, but famous for being painful to work with. Number 3, Malbolge. Malbolge was literally designed to be as difficult as possible to program in. The instructions change while the program runs, the syntax is confusing, and when it was created, no one could even write a working program in it. Number 2, Brainfuck. This language only has 8 commands. That might sound simple, but programs end up looking like this. Even printing hello becomes dozens of strange symbols. And number 1, INTRCAL. INTRCA was basically made as a joke to parody other programming languages. Its commands include things like please do, and if you're not polite enough, the program can actually fail. Follow if you're a human. These languages aren't meant for real software, but they show how strange programming languages can get. Follow for more quick computer science explanations.